welcome your next act, Blake Freeman.
A bit about me. I'm not a fighter guy, like not in any way, and neither are any of like my male friends. Like all my dude mates are very like emotionally aware, like understand how they feel dudes, but they still have that like dumb young man aggression, you know? And when it collides, it's ridiculous. Like recently, I had to break up a fist fight between two of my best mates because one of them felt that the other wasn't opening up enough about his breakup. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Just dudes being like, oh, you think you're tough? Why don't you connect with me like a man then, cunt? Like, just like shaping up. Like, yeah, everyone goes through breakups, but that doesn't mean you should dismiss your emotions on the situation. Because ultimately what you're feeling is unique to you, you fucking dog. Like, just dudes who aren't scared to get into a scuffle, but afterwards are like, I'm sorry, man, I'm learning that my love language is touch. Like, I'm in therapy, which is sick. Thank you. I like it because I now understand what it is. Like for ages, I thought therapy was where you go for someone to fix you. But it's actually where you go to talk to someone about your problems and then they give you the tools that might best equip you to fix yourself. You know, like establishing independence over your own problems, which is mad. But I do think if it was any other service, it would be fucking infuriating. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if your sink was fucked and you called a plumber to come around and fix it, and you were like, yeah, the water's not going down. And they were like, do you feel as though this is an internal issue? No, the water's just not going down. All right, how about we try this? How about we leave this bottle of Drano here and we'll try the Drano technique and you just do with that what you will. You know, there's no wrong answers. And then they come back a week later and because it's therapy, you fuck it up and they're like, how'd you go? And you're like, I drank the Drano. Do you see how that might be self-destructive? But again, I'm not making fun of it, but there's no other thing like that, like where you pay for the hints on what you have to do. Like, it's literally like therapists and like people who work in escape rooms, you know? We should just merge the two. Lock them in a room. I don't know. No, I'm trying to work on my communication, especially like with my partner and stuff, because I don't want to be one of those couples that when they're not with each other, all they do is like shit on the other person, you know? Because I feel like you see that all the time. Like I had a dude come up to me recently, and he just started going off, and he was like, "Man, I've been married for 15 years. Want to know what that means? Haven't won an argument in 15 years." I was like, "Cool. It sounds like you're miserable and you suck at arguing." Like, can't get a divorce and join a debate team. Like, grow up, you know. But it's that thing where I feel like communication can sort of start to break down when like sex does, you know. And because my partner and I, we've been together for 4 years, naturally our sex life has declined, but we're trying to work on it to build it back up. But I don't know if we're going about it in like the right way, you know. Like recently, I was leaving to go do a gig. And as I was leaving, I gave my partner a kiss and I said goodbye. And when I gave her a kiss, she was like, hey, we could have sex. And I was like, oh, I can't, like I've got to go. But when I get back, and she was like, you're not going to want to have sex with me when you get back. And I was like, yeah, I will. And she was like, no, you won't. And I was like, yeah, I will. And she was like, okay, how about we make a bet? Let's make a bet that if when you come home you have sex with me, I'll buy you a packet of chips. But if when you come home you don't have sex with me, you have to buy me a packet of chips. And I was like, deal. Because I like sex, but I fucking love packets of chips, you know? Dude, I love them. Like, I buy them in threes, you know? Like, I get the Red Rock Deli sweet chili sour cream. I get Kettle salt and vinegar, and I get Thins any flavour. It doesn't really matter what flavour. They're more there just to remind me of where I came from, you know? It's like, you got the lavish stuff, but stay humble, bro. Like... So I was like, 100% deal, let's do it. I leave, I go to the gig, I come home, I get into bed, my partner's already in bed, she's working on her laptop, and I give her a kiss, and I'm like, hello. And she just turned to me and she went, no. And I was like, okay, gave her a kiss, said I love you, good night, went to sleep. Woke up in the morning, and my partner was already looking at me, and she was like, you owe me a packet of chips. And I was like, what? And she was like, you owe me a packet of chips. And I was like, no, I don't. And she was like, yeah, we didn't have sex. And I was like, well, the deal was that if when I come home I have sex with you, you know, in that wording implying you're keen. But when I tried, you said no, making the bet void. And she was like, no, you owe me a packet of chips. And I was like, well, that's not fair. And she was like, how come? And I was like, well, because I'm not going to have sex with you when you say no to win a bet. Like that's my line, babe. Like, call me old-fashioned, but that's a fucking crime, dude. Like, do you want me to be in front of the judge, be like, Your Honour, I understand the charges, but in my defence, it was a bet. Like, I'm not a predator, I'm competitive. Like, just walking around jail, like, what are you in for? Well, I'm in because technically I won, and that is all I will say on the matter. Like, but it was probably our fuck up, like, bringing gambling into sex, because now I'm worried that's going to keep going. Like, in the future, like, I won't be able to get it up, and my partner's just there with dice. Like, if I roll 2 3s, you got to get hard. Like... But she wouldn't back down. She was like, no, you owe me a packet of chips. And so now I'm in the chip aisle of Woolworths trying to figure out which flavour of chips best says, I care about your consent, which is a fucking hard buy. And so I went with light and tangy.